It was gear to you, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. In today's video, it's time to conquer the many Koroks of the Faron region, Korok place, this area, the land of the Koroks of Faron. Yay, this place. That was a great intro there, Lady Gear to you. I'm so proud of the fact that I've been doing this for 14 years. So, you may notice the elephant in the room this time around. We are not live streaming this section because of a fun reason. Late last year, my computer exploded. And when I got the new one, the two USB outlets for this computer are on like opposite sides of it. And for my capture card to properly stream, I need to use both USB outlets for that, and I don't have USB adapter. I don't have any USB adapter yet to properly stream on this computer yet. And even if I do, I don't fully know yet how well this thing's going to handle streaming because it's not the most powerful computer in the world. So yeah, I figured while I get all that taken care of, I might as well just get something done for the Faron Koroks. So this time around, what I did instead was that I recorded all the footage ahead of time, and like just doing like post commentary instead. I think we did something similar to the previous Koroks at some point, definitely for the Great Plateau, and I think the Dueling Peaks as well. And it wasn't until like the Hateno Koroks where we started doing the process of doing the live streams to get the footage for getting the Koroks. So, honestly, I don't know which method is easier because this took a while too. The thing with getting the Korok footage for the streams is, first of all, streaming, because I feel like the way I do commentary is best suited for doing like a live commentary, but the thing with streaming is that it's several hours of talking to yourself, and more often than not, because I'm a smaller YouTuber, the streams are pretty empty, so it's usually just me talking to a void. But I do keep like a timestamp for whenever we do get all the Korok, so it's easier for me to edit, but even then, that takes a little while, so yeah, I'm not entirely sure which method is easier. The big difference this time around was, like, I don't have to talk while getting all the footage for this, so I had a couple movies playing in the background while I was getting footage for this, and I didn't get them all at once like I did with the Dueling Peaks. I spread out the recording session across a couple days, so it was definitely a lot easier to get the footage, but in terms of editing, I think it's about the same in terms of difficulty, so I don't know if we're gonna... Even if we are able to get back into streaming in the near future, I don't know if we're going to go back to that, if we're going to stick with this. I feel like at least for the central region, we are probably still going to go back to streaming for that one, because, fun fact, there's over 100 plus Koroks in the central region, and that's going to take a really long time to finish. You found me! Bye-bye! The nice thing about doing this, though, is that because I wasn't really worried about keeping a stream commentary going, I could more easily plan out ahead, like, hey, look, there are these Koroks are all next to each other, I can get this footage in pretty rapid success, and so that was a pretty convenient thing. But yeah, there's not really that much to talk about in terms of Koroks themselves, because we've collected literally hundreds of these things. There's not much more to say about the actual Koroks. So let's talk about something else. Let's talk about something relative to what's going on recently. Let's talk about the Avengers. I was making like a list of stuff that I could talk about for our post-commentary adventures, and like the big thing I was thinking about was, oh, well, the Avengers Doomsday trailer came out not too long ago, so I can talk about that. That's gonna be fun. So all throughout 2026, I've been binge-watching as much of the Marvel movies as I possibly can. And falling into the tar. Yeah, you can use the ice blocks, the Cryonis ability to get to the next one. And I think we chopped down a tree at some point to try to get this to work as well. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's admittedly been like a week or so since I've looked. Yeah, we did chop down a tree. That's fun. Yay, that's a strategy. But yeah, we've been binge watching the Marvel movies recently to like prepare for Avengers Doomsday, which has been pretty fun. I'm not watching every single one of them. There's been a couple that I've skipped. Like, I didn't watch The Incredible Hulk or Thor: The Dark World because I really don't like those two movies. But I've been binge watching through a majority of them. The most recent one I watched was Infinity War. But the thing about that was that this time around I was watching it with the director's commentary, and it's really fun watching director commentary things because you get a bit more of an insight on what it actually was like to make the movie. Like for one instance, I didn't realize that the screenwriter had a cameo in the scene where Ross was talking to War Machine about like where Captain America was. So yeah, that's a fun little thing to realize. And also the Deadpool and Wolverine commentary is pretty fun too because like you get to see just how much of a collaborative effort it was to make all the silly jokes in the movie. And also I learned something interesting. So I've always wondered why they didn't make a joke about Sherlock Holmes in Infinity War because yeah, Tony Stark and Doctor Strange together, and both actors, Robert Downey Jr. and Benedict Cumberbatch, had played Sherlock Holmes before. So I wondered, like, why didn't they make a joke about that in the movie? Like, no, Sherlock, or something like that. But they actually pointed this out in the director's commentary for Infinity War, and they mentioned that, like, yeah, it was an obvious joke that would have been good, but the problem with it is that it requires being a fan of other movies to make sense. Which I guess I get, but at the same time, it's like, everybody would have understood it. But yeah, if they have Deadpool meeting Doctor Strange in a future MCU movie, they definitely need to make that comment at some point. It's just way too good of a joke to pass up on. But yeah. They eventually released a Doomsday trailer, and my goodness, I'm super excited. So, the thing is, I feel like the Doomsday trailer took too long to come out, and it was really getting on my nerves that they just weren't releasing it. And now that it actually is released, like, I'm excited for the movie now. And the really thing that's very exciting is that the whole cool thing about Avengers movies is they feel like a big crossover event. Because even though like these movies are made with the mindset of being in an interconnected world, the nice thing about like Spider-Man No Way Home, for example, was that you actually got different Spider-Man characters from across different studios. So like you had Dr. Octopus and Green Goblin from the Tobey Maguire movies meeting the Tom Holland Spider-Man. And like seeing how like their different universes interacted with each other is really cool. And they're going to be doing the same thing with Avengers Doomsday, where like the Fox X-Men are going to be interacting with like the Marvel MCU Avengers, and that's just a really, really exciting thing to see because like I literally grew up on the original X-Men, original Spider-Man movies, and things like that. So it's going to be a really fun thing to see. But moving on from Avengers stuff, yeah, we got some more Koroks we have to find. I'm not the greatest at post commentary. I'm gonna admit. Like post commentary definitely is like one of my weaknesses when it comes to making videos like this. So yeah, that is a little bit on the unfortunate side. Let's talk about Smash Brothers instead. There is no Smash Brothers game announced, but hopefully there will be one at some point in Switch 2's life. I feel like at this point, personally, what I would prefer would be like a Switch 2 edition of Ultimate that adds a couple new characters, brings back the returning stages that didn't return from the first time around. Because Smash Ultimate is already a pretty solid game as it is, and I feel like if they're going to make a whole new game, then they would definitely be dropping the roster. There's no way they're going to bring back every single character again. Like, the only way I could see that happening is if they take more development time, like a couple more years to make the game, and they have, like, a larger development team on it. But even then, like, that's not going to guarantee the quality, the quality roster balance that Ultimate has. So, yeah, there is a thing where you could theoretically, like, just copy-paste the data if you want, but there's also the roster balance that you gotta do if you're gonna introduce a new character or if you're gonna give an older character a new moveset. So what I'd personally prefer would be like a Switch 2 edition, because then you can more realistically add new characters to the existing roster. And also, fix the story mode. Word of Light is boring as hell. I guess I can rant about this. So, a fun story. One of my original ideas for a Let's Play was my idea for the channel's next major project after Breath of the Wild was going to be Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And my idea was that we'd have a Word of Light Let's Play, and whenever we meet a new character, we would showcase a classic mode video, showcasing this character, but also having like an in-depth guide for how they played. And I was working on this idea for about a year or so, but the more I played Word of Light, the more I realized I just don't have that much to say about this mode. I could probably squeeze out 1 or 2 videos and make a couple like interesting topics about a couple of their spirit battles here and there. Like, the only spirit battle that off the top of my head that I feel like I have anything worthwhile to say is the one where you have the spirits for the Squid Sisters, because a bit of an amusing, or not Squid Sisters, the Tsubasa from Tokyo Mirage Assassins, because in that one you have the Squid Sisters like kind of representing Tsubasa and Eleonora from Tokyo Mirage Assassins, because they have an outfit in the original game that looks a lot like the Callie Marie Squid Sister pink and green outfit. So there's that, and also the fact that the music that they have playing in the background of that, I don't remember the name of the exact company, but they did music on some of the Style Savvy games. That same music company, Epic's company, they also worked on the music for Tokyo Mirage Assassins as well. So that's a bit of a useless fun fact. But yeah, I was working on this idea for a couple years, and I realized partway through, this probably isn't a good idea, because I just don't have enough to say about Word of Light to justify making 40 plus videos of it, because Word of Light is long. It takes a long time to get through the story, even if you're just going through it normally. But if I were to do a Let's Play of it, I'd want to go for 100% and get all the spirits in the game, or at least all the spirits in Word of Light. But that takes a very long time, and I don't have that much to say about Word of Light because it's boring as hell. So, after about a year or so, I just kind of decided to just stop working on it because it didn't feel like it was worth my time to go through all that effort. And the thing is, I don't make these videos for views. Like, I've been making these videos for about 14 years now, and I don't really pay attention to how many views I get per video, so I don't really know what the average is. But I'm not a super big YouTuber, and that's okay. I make these videos for fun. But there's that point where it's all like, okay, I'm still making these videos for fun, but how much is it going to be worth it to put my time into something that isn't going to get that popular? There is that realistic thing where it's all like, I'm going to put like 12 plus hours into this video. Is it really going to be worth it if only like 5 people watch it? And the thing is, like, that's kind of like the Breath of the Wild mindset, because I've been working on this Let's Play for a very long time. These videos take a really long time to edit. But I still make them because I love the game so much. I don't care how many videos Breath of the Wild gets, I still want to make this Let's Play because I want to, because it's fun, because I like this game, because even after 100 plus episodes, I still have a lot to say about it. Which probably isn't the most great example to use right now, because I'm literally talking about the fact that I don't have much more to say about the Koroks, because we've already gone through so many of these already. But that's basically the big point of it, is that I still make Breath of the Wild and put as much effort as I do into these Let's Play videos because I want to. I don't know if I want to do that same effort for Smash Bros. Ultimate, because I don't care about Word of Light. Now, I still do want to do a Smash Ultimate Let's Play, because I feel like even if I just did the classic mode routes, that's still like a big beefy Let's Play that would give me a chance to talk about the characters themselves. And I think that's really the big highlight of Ultimate. So if it does happen, that's probably what the Let's Play is going to turn out to be. But even then, like, I don't really know when that would happen, because like there's a bunch of other Let's Plays that I want to do at some point in the future. So that's a bit of a fun thing. And the other thing is, like, this also isn't my only creative outlet anymore, because for a couple years there, Let's Plays really was like my big creative output for making projects. But nowadays I'm also doing this. I'm also working on like an actual video game myself that I'm spending a lot of time working on nowadays. I'm trying to write a book for like the next entry in the Corporate Adventure series, which is taking a little bit longer than expected. So yeah, there's a lot of creative stuff that I'm working on nowadays. I think coming up around here is the point where I wrapped up the first recording session for getting the Koroks on the first day. It was either 2 or 3 recording sessions that it took to get, I think it was 3. So this point around here was when I stopped the first session, And yeah, I think it was this one that's starting the day 2 recording session. You found me! Bye-bye! But yeah, it's really amusing. Like, I don't really talk about a whole lot of cancel Let's Plays that I've had over the years because, to be honest, I've had a lot of ideas that just didn't work out for a Let's Play that don't really make that much of an interesting story. But the Smash Ultimate one is definitely one that I felt was probably something that could make a good story. This one took me a little while to get because I kept getting lost on where the stupid flower was. I gotta say, the ones where you're tracking down the flowers are probably some of my lesser favorite Koroks to find because they don't always make it obvious where the next flower spawned. So it's not exactly the most appealing thing in the world. But going back to like potential Let's Play projects in the future, one that I really want to talk about that kind of hurts is the fact that there's this one Let's Play I was working on all last year that I was really excited to have happen this year, but it didn't happen. So, like, I'm trying to decide if I want to see what the game is. Okay, I'll just say that it was an RPG project. It's an RPG project that I'm pretty passionate about because the thing with this game is that whenever you hear people talk about it online, the big consensus is that you're probably better off just watching a Let's Play of this game than actually playing it for yourself because while the game is good, it has like a lot of detriments to it that kind of ruin the experience of actually playing the game, so you're probably better off just watching it. But the thing about this game in particular is that there aren't a whole lot of Let's Plays of it out there. Most of the people who do Let's Play from the series usually cover their older games, so there aren't really a whole lot of playthroughs of the newer ones out there. And this specific game, I actually really like. I think it has a lot of strong points to it. It's just that there is that mindset of the bad things do cause a bit of a detriment to the enjoyability of this game. But the good moments are so good. They are really good. Like some of the best moments that the series has ever had levels of good. And that's what the whole Let's Play was based around. And then that computer exploded and I lost all those files because I didn't back them up. And the thing is, I was finished with my research. I found all the stuff in the game that would have been required to get 100% completion, and that's what stings so much about it, because the research was done. It took like a couple of months to research everything that I wanted to about the game, and it was done. But the computer exploded, and I haven't been able to get the files off that hard drive yet, and it's going to be expensive to do so, and I just don't have the money for that right now. So, yeah, that's been an unfortunate thing that I've had to deal with. And the thing is, I still do want to make that Let's Play. I do still want to. It's just that, you know, this project that I spent like a few months of my time researching, I pretty much have to start over from scratch unless I want to spend the money to get those files off that broken computer. And I don't know if I want to do that yet, because everything else that I wanted to save off there, I've pretty much already made a backup for by now already. So yeah, it's just one of those things where like I do still want to make a Let's Play of this game at some point in the future, but I don't know when it's going to happen now. In terms of future Zelda Let's Plays, this is also a pretty interesting thing to talk about too. So, no, I was hoping that Rock would have hit the choo-choo. One of my biggest life goals for the Let's Play channel is to do a Let's Play of every 3D Mario game and every 3D Zelda game out there. For Mario, we're getting pretty close. I think the only one that I haven't made any kind of content for whatsoever was Bowser's Fury. And even then, we did a 12 Days of Gaming video for it a couple years ago. But for Mario 64, we did a Let's Play. For Sunshine, we only did the verses of that on the collab channel. I haven't done a Let's Play of that one yet. We did Let's Plays of Galaxy 1 and 2. I think we did talk about doing a versus of Galaxy 1 at some point, but that just never happened. 3D Land and 3D World we did a versus of, and Let's Play Odyssey we did a Let's Play of. And the funny thing about Odyssey is that we actually did want to do a versus of Odyssey at some point. The problem with that is that we don't know if we want to. We kind of argued back and forth over whether or not we were going to go for 100% completion, and if we weren't, what would be the things we would need to get to complete the verses. Because Mario Odyssey is a very open game, so Like we could have this one route where, okay, we knocked out all these moons, but the moons over here can actually help us complete the game faster. So we kind of argued back and forth over whether or not, like, what the exact route for the power moons was going to be. And earlier on in the planning for this project, we actually wanted to do this as a three-way versus. Like the James Rose, Pink Hourman, and I, we all recorded at least one video for it. And I'm so sad that this video is lost to time. I still have my footage of it, but like Pancake lost his footage. I don't think James saved the audio file. But I'm so sad that we lost this footage because this was the first instance where Pancake Hourman did his whole shut up Gator thing. And I'm so sad that that first Shut Up Gator has lost to time, because it was such a good moment. I don't remember the full context of it, but we're in the Sand Kingdom. James and I are playfully going back and forth about something stupid. And so I just go to Pancake and I'm like, hey Pancake, back me up here. Shut up, Gator. It was so good, and I'm so sad that it's lost to time now. That was a fun one. We might still do Odyssey Versus at some point, but James is very busy nowadays because he has like an actual like fancy job and things like that. And I also have a job, and I'm also working on a game, so I'm pretty busy nowadays too. So that's kind of like the big reason why the collab channel is uploaded a lot more sporadically nowadays. And it's really unfortunate, and I wish we could upload more often. It's just that all four of us are now, you know, boring grown-ups, and we have responsibilities and stuff. But yeah, the only 3D Mario game that I haven't done a Let's Play of is Mario Sunshine, and Bowser's Fury, if you want to count that as a separate thing, and 3D World. So I only have 3 more 3D Mario games left to cover. Zelda's a bit of a weird one, though, because the ones we're currently missing are Twilight Princess, Ocarina of Time, and Tears of the Kingdom. And the thing is, each 3D Zelda game would take a while to finish. Twilight Princess is a weird one because I feel like if I just suck it up and start doing the Wii or the Wii U version of the game, they're going to announce a Switch version anytime. That's kind of the big reason why I held off on Twilight Princess for so long. And I just know that the second that I decide to just say screw it and just let's play the Wii version is when they're going to announce that it's coming to Switch. I don't have the Wii U version anymore, and I'm really upset about that because I sold it on eBay. But then there was this whole stupid thing where the guy that bought my copy of the game lied and said that they didn't get the copy. And even though I showed eBay the tracking information that showed, hey, this person did get this copy of the game, they still tried to say that they never got the game. And I'm so upset about that because Twilight Princess is expensive as hell nowadays. Anyway, yeah. And Ocarina of Time is a bit of a funny one now because of the Switch 2 remake coming out. I think even if I were to wait on the Switch remake, I'd probably still consider the 3DS version a separate Let's Play because we did that with Majora's Mask on 3DS and Nintendo 64. So my mindset right now is that the Switch 2 remake is probably going to be like its own different beast, so we could probably still do the 3DS version of Ocarina of Time at some point down the road. And Tears of the Kingdom. That one is a bit of a mess for me right now, because, fun fact, I don't like Tears of the Kingdom. I want to do a video essay on this game at some point, because there's this burning question that I've been wanting to know for a long time. Do I hate the game purely because of what happened in my life during that time, or because of the game itself? Because, yeah, there are a lot of things in Tears of the Kingdom that do genuinely get on my nerves. Like, I hate the fusing mechanic, because I feel like it overcomplicates us, like, a bunch of simple things. And like, it's really irritating trying to craft something and it just doesn't work for whatever reason. It's really irritating. And the fact that every single shrine is built around crafting and fusing things, it's really irritating. I don't like the depths. I feel like they get boring after a while, and the sky was very disappointing. But the game definitely does have a lot of like upsides as well. Like, I feel like the story for Tears of the Kingdom is a bit better than Breath of the Wild, even if I feel like the way they told the story was a lot weaker. It's a weird thing. So they do the open world thing with the storytelling that they do in this game, but it feels like the story in Tears of the Kingdom was really meant to... We just totally teabagged that game. I feel like the story for Tears of the Kingdom was really meant to be told in a linear order, but the fact that they give you the option to see the story in any order you want... I remember during my first time playing through Tears of the Kingdom, there was this one specific big moment that got ruined for me because I'd seen a cutscene that takes place in the story later. So I was like, oh, okay, this probably could have been an important moment if I hadn't seen what happens later. So, yeah, there's a lot of things like that where I'm like, okay, do I not like the game because I don't like the game? Or do I not like the game because 2023 was the worst year of my life? I don't want to go into it right now. I'll save it for the video essay. But to put it in perspective, 2023 was a terrible year for me personally. I got out of a bad roommate situation. 2 people very close to me died. And somebody that I trusted was not a good person. And all that happening over the course of a couple months. And just wanted to play Tears of the Kingdom to escape from all of that. And realizing more and more, oh, this game that I was looking forward to for years is kind of lame as dirt. This wasn't exactly a great combination. It's kind of like the reason why I want to hold off on playing Pikmin 4 for a little while, because Pikmin 4 also came in around that time too. And I was like, okay, Tears of the Kingdom, I feel like got ruined because of this, of all this that's going on right now. So I probably shouldn't play Pikmin 4 right now, because if I were to play right now, I'd probably hate the game forever too. And I'm really glad that I waited on it, because Pikmin 4 was awesome. Like, there's definitely a lot of things in Pikmin 4 that do get on my nerves, and I feel like if I did play it sooner, then those little minor problems would have escalated exponentially. Like, I really don't like the fact that they limit how many Pikmin you can have on the field at the very beginning of the game. I thought that was very stupid. But the rest of the game is pretty awesome. Like, I love nearly every dungeon in the game. The boss fights are great, and it's just, the game just keeps getting bigger and bigger whenever you play through it. It's awesome. So, yeah, I really like Pikmin 4, and also talking about a Let's Play that might happen at some point in the future, Pikmin 4. So, I want to do a Let's Play Pikmin 4. That's pretty much like a no-brainer at this point. But the reason why it hasn't happened yet is because of the Switch 2 editions that Nintendo keeps releasing. It's kind of a big problem for me right now, because I feel like if I were to plan out a Switch Let's Play now, then they're going to be announcing a Switch 2 edition anytime that's going to invalidate my previous Let's Plays. So that's kind of like the juggling act of trying to figure out, okay, do I want to do a Switch 2 do I want to do this Let's Play of a Switch game, or do I want to wait for a potential Switch 2 edition? And Pikmin 4 is kind of a big one, because I feel like that game probably could benefit from a Switch 2 edition, purely because of the fact that using the Joy-Con mouse controls would work very well for Pikmin 4. I don't know if they've implemented that yet. I know they've had a couple updates for Pikmin 4 on Switch 2, but I don't know if they've done like any specific like mouse control things yet. But I feel like if I were to do Let's Play Pikmin 4 anytime soon, that they'd announce Switch 2 edition, that would invalidate stuff. So that's kind of the reason why Pikmin 1 happened before Pikmin 4, because Pikmin 1 was also something that I was just thinking about in general. Like, I really loved the first Pikmin game, but my original Let's Play was lame as dirt. So it's probably a good time as any to redo this one and probably do it more justice and things like that. So yeah, the next Pikmin Let's Play likely will be Pikmin 4, if a Switch 2 edition comes out anytime soon. They could also do a Switch 2 edition of Hey Pikmin. So probably unpopular opinion, Hey Pikmin was actually pretty fun. Like, I get why people didn't like it when it first came out, because the really annoying thing about Hey Pikmin was that Shigeru Miyamoto had said a couple years prior that the next Pikmin game was almost complete, and so everybody just assumed that that meant Pikmin 4 was coming out soon, but no, it was Pikmin 3DS. So it was that weird time frame where like Nintendo just kept releasing spin-offs non-stop, and they all look so weird. Like Chibi Robo Ziplash, turning Chibi Robo into a lame-ass 2D platformer. Metroid Prime Federation Force, which I've heard that game isn't that bad. It's just like the art style that's really lame, and like I've tried playing it myself. It's not really my thing. I'm not that big into first-person games. But yeah, the Hey Pikmin isn't all that bad. I actually really like that one. It has some really fun 2D platforming moments, and there's a really cool level late in the game where you can fly around with your winged Pikmin, and it kind of feels like one of those like side-scrolling shooter games. I really liked how that level played. That was pretty cool. My problem with Hey Pikmin though is that some of the enemies have really weird hit detection. Like, I hate Pikmin is the reason why I hate bread bugs now. Because they have such a weird, inconsistent hitbox where it looks like the Pikmin hit them on the top of their head, but then they died anyway, and it's just really weird. So, yeah, Hey Pikmin is certainly an interesting game. I wonder if they'll ever release 3DS games on NSO. They probably won't, but it'd be pretty interesting to see what it would be like, because there's a lot of great 3DS games out there that would be a bit difficult to re-release on Switch, but there's probably a way they could do like an NSO emulation of the game. They already had Virtual Boy out there, and that one kind of requires you to have the goggle things to even play the game, which, by the way, that is the dumbest thing ever. I was excited for Virtual Boy to come to Switch. Like, I was a little annoyed at first because I feel like they probably could have put those resources towards having a more interesting console come to the service. But the fact that Virtual Boy games also never have gotten a re-release ever is actually pretty exciting to get them on Switch Online. But they all require you to play with a stupid headset, and it's so stupid because I feel like you're still gatekeeping these Virtual Boy games from being played. And these games don't really need 3D. They don't really need 3D to be played, so why are they still gatekeeping it over an additional paywall for a subscription service that you have to play monthly? Or yearly, or however often you play. I pay mine yearly. But, yeah, that was honestly one of the more baffling decisions that Nintendo made in recent years. But yeah, I feel like DS and 3DS games would also, like, they probably would still work pretty well on Switch Online. I know there is that one patent where, like, two Switch consoles interacting next to each other. They use that for Super Mario Party, so it wouldn't be the most efficient way to do it, but they probably could do something like that. What I personally would do, I would still adapt how they did it on the Wii U, where you can have a couple different options for screen layouts, because I feel like that would probably be the best way to adapt a DS or a 3DS game onto a single screen. But I would also release like some kind of device that connects to the Switch. It wouldn't exactly be like the Wii U gamepad, because the problem with the Wii U gamepad is that it required so much power from the Wii U to transmit the video seamlessly, that it kind of was a bit of a detriment to the Wii U console itself to be able to do that. So what I personally would do would be, I don't know if we would do it over Wi-Fi or anything like that, because I feel like you'd have some connection problems with that. Maybe like it's a wired controller that's a screen, like the Game Boy, GameCube connecting cable thing, but just some kind of like extra controller with another screen that can mimic the dual screen of the DS. But the problem with that is that's also the problem with the Wii U, is that having the two screens disconnected like that didn't make the games all that seamless of an experience. It definitely was a different experience from playing a dual screen on a DS or something like that. Like if you're playing Nintendo Land, then one of the cool things about that game, for example, Zelda Battle Quest, you got like the big open dynamic camera views on the TV. But if you're playing on the gamepad, you can like more efficiently aim to the archer and things like that, which is really cool. And just things like that were really cool with the Wii U. So the problem with the DS though is that the games were made with the mindset that the two screens were so close to each other. So I don't fully know if that would work super well with having like an extra screen accessory. Actually, I have another idea. This would probably work a lot better. What if they just use the NSO app? That would actually work pretty well. I think I had this idea a while back because I may have talked about this in a video, but I remember back before Tokyo Mirage and Sharp FE Encore came out, an idea they had for what they could do for the Switch version, if that ever came out, was to connect it to NSO so that the text messages you got from the party members would show up on your phone. They didn't do this in the actual game, but it would be a really good use of the NSO app to be able to use that as your second DS screen. That would actually work out really well. Nintendo, hire me. I have good ideas. My ideas are the good ones. Make Tokyo Mirage Essence 2. Why isn't there a Captain Toad Treasure Tracker 2 yet? Like, the game that was easily one of the best Mario games of all time, but they haven't made a sequel to it yet, and it makes me so sad. I really want to get the Tilt Trash Tracker 2. That's probably like one of my top wishlist games for the Switch 2 generation, honestly. Like, yeah, Tokyo Mirage Assassins 2 would be pretty great. I don't really know how well that would do, though, because, like, I'm pretty sure me and this one guy on Twitter are the only people in the entire world who actually care about Tokyo Mirage Assassins. But I don't care. I love Tokyo Mirage Assassins. I still stand by the fact that it's one of the greatest RPGs of all time, even though I've also played games like Persona and things like that. And I've also recently finished Pokemon Fire Red. That was probably like one of the most surreal experiences playing a game recently. The fact that I actually finished a Pokemon game for once. So, they really released Fire Red and Leaf Green on like the Switch eShop. They didn't do it through NSO, it's kind of silly, but like actually playing through Pokemon Fire Red was really, really cool. I didn't really look at that game too often because I already played through a majority of Let's Go Eevee, so I figured, okay, that's probably like the best Kanto game out there, so I don't really feel the need to... Ah, it's a dragon! So I don't really feel the need to go to the other Kanto games. But playing through Fire Red, it really is its own beast. It really is its own, like, different game from Let's Go, and that's not a bad thing. Both games are pretty good. Like, I still really like Let's Go Eevee, and I think it still might be my favorite Pokemon game. But actually finishing Pokemon Fire Red was mind-blowing, because I've never finished a Pokemon game before. Like, yeah, we did Let's Play Pokemon Snap a couple years ago, but that's a spin-off. I'm talking about, like, mainline games. I'm historically awful at Pokemon. I still have a bit of a hard time wrapping my head around type advantages, and more often than not, I get confused in gyms, and my Pokemon are so underleveled that I kind of just give up most of the time. But with Pokemon Fire Red, I never really felt the need to level grind my Pokemon or anything like that. And even then, like, I was using my Blastoise. I named him Carl. I did use him for a majority of my playthrough, but I was still able to use my other Pokemon pretty efficiently for, like, the Elite Four and the late gym battles and things like that. And it was a really, really cool experience playing through Fire Red. And I really loved the game. I really, really loved Fire Red. So, yeah, that was a really fun time. Yeah, I named Blastoise Carl so that whenever he knocks out a Pokemon, I could be like, Carl, that kills people, Carl. I love naming my Pokemon stupid things. We did do a bit of a playthrough for a couple charity events for Fire Red. We didn't get too far into the game, and we're probably never going to finish that playthrough, honestly. But we played through the Game Changers charity event that I hosted a couple years ago. And then I think the next year, we also hosted it on Winternet's Let's Play for the Trevor Project. I don't remember much about that playthrough, honestly, but I do remember that we named the starter Pokemon Donate Today. I still stand by that being probably one of the most clever names I've ever given a Pokemon ever. We got some Durings over here. And what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Who's that Korok? It's Snorlax! And we are getting pretty close to the end of the Faron Koroks for this video, so yeah, we're making some decent progress on this. And again, I don't fully know yet what the plan is going to be for the Koroks in the future. We only have 3 regions left to go before we finish them all. The Ridgeland and Heber regions. They both have quite a few amount of Koroks in them, especially the Heber region. The Central region is going to take forever, because there's like 100 plus Koroks in that region, most of which are in Hyrule Castle. So I don't fully know yet what my mindset's going to be for that. I think we are going to try to do the streaming thing again for the next video. I definitely want to do that for the Central region because of how many Koroks are in there. But that was all the Koroks in the Faron region. So, yeah. So many of them down, just 3 more regions to go. We are almost done with this Let's Play. Thank you guys so much for watching the video for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And next time, we get her to you. Oh yeah.